Hello and welcome to fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. We're here with a special exclusive series on theCUBE talking about resilience and AI and cybersecurity, three of the most important topics, not just of this year, but of the next 5 years of the decade. My name's Savannah Peterson. Very excited to be joined by one of the brightest voices in the space. Bipul, thank you for coming to hang out.
Savannah, such a pleasure.
This is a joy. You're a CUBE OG. You've been a regular on the show. I feel so lucky that I get my turn with you. This is going to be awesome. AI definitely been the acronym of the year. Talk to us a little bit about what Rubrik's doing in AI right now and why you're here in Las Vegas.
As you know, Rubrik is the security and AI operations company. We deliver cyber resilience to ensure that our businesses, customers are always in business and their services are always up and running, even when they are faced with cyber attack. And then we have launched a new product line recently called Rubrik Agent Cloud. And Rubrik Agent Cloud is all about understanding what agents are running in your company, what are they actually doing, what are the guardrails around them, and if they misbehave, how do you undo those agents? So essentially, agent monitor, agent governance, and agent rewind is a complete Rubrik Agent Cloud solutions that we are selling. So we want to ensure that our customers can do AI transformation with confidence.
That seems to be one of the big themes. I'm glad you brought up confidence. Uncertainty, definitely a theme right now as people start to scale up, whether that's at the enterprise or even in the small business scope. Let's talk about how you've been navigating making sure that you delivered the right product. I mean, you're dealing with incredibly sensitive data. And to your exact point, all of these agents create a bunch of data that also needs to be governed and compliant. So when did you start building this and talk to me about the process to make sure you were able to keep up? Everything's moving so fast.
So as folks have gone into the agentic work, what they're realizing is that these agents can do 10x more damage in one-tenth of the time.
I'm glad somebody said it.
Because they are running business processes. They are assuming your identity. In some ways, they are superhuman. Mm-hmm. And if they get compromised by a threat actor in North Korea, now that threat actor is running your business operations, which is very distinct from stealing your data. And so for businesses to have the confidence and take advantage of the 100x opportunities that AI provides, they need to really contain that risk. And this is what we have been focused on. We said, taking AI agent is like hiring 1,000 employees and letting them loose to write your code, to serve your customers, to approve your purchase order.
It's like a Black Friday rush all at once.
Exactly.
Is what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
But how do you do that without creating governance around these actions, around these activities? Mm-hmm. And if they misbehave because of hallucination or otherwise, how do you ensure that you take out the unwanted actions?
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, where do you, I actually would love your take on this. Where do you think most companies are in terms of their implementation and adoption journey when it comes to AI? Is everyone still just doing MVPs and figuring it out in the sandbox, or are you helping them ensure their security at scale already?
So every enterprise started with doing the basic AI, which is around search and answers. And as they moved into the agentic world, they saw good results in their pilot. But going from pilot to production, they have to really take care of the operational risk. Mm-hmm. And that is what is the biggest inhibitor, because the issue is that in production, you need to have accurate AI. You need to have cost control. Otherwise, if you have like doing a lot of inferences, your cost will be runaway. So accurate results, cost control, creating governance, and making sure that they are doing the right action is not an easy thing to achieve. No. And that's why every IT leader and security leader is looking for solutions around compliance and governance.
Absolutely, and it's super complex. I mean, when we're talking about multiple nations housing data, when we're talking about who gets to see that data. So talk to me about how you prioritized which solutions to provide to your community first.
It is about layered cakes. So the base layer is, do people understand what the hell is going on? And in terms of what the hell is going on is about how many agents do I have? These agents could be, you develop these agents, we call it infrastructure as a service agent, or you could take an agent from a platform such as Salesforce or M365. So do you have an inventory of all your agents? and you understand what these agents are doing. That is the base layer. Once you do that, then you say, what are my broad governance? It's like hiring an employee. When you hire an employee, you give employee a handbook saying what is allowed and what is not allowed in the organization. Do you have that level of governance as a base governance across all the agents? And then, just like an employee that works in a specific department to do a specific job, and what is allowed and not allowed for that employees, how do you do that for agents? How do you ensure that agents, when they assume an identity and work on the data, they can do certain things and cannot do certain things? So creating guardrails around these agents, making sure that agents are producing accurate results at a contained and or lower cost is a real challenge.
It's a huge challenge, and it's fun to get to chat with you because you see the billboards, we have 50,000 agents doing this, or 1 billion agents by X date, or whatever that might be. And I look at that and think that's 1 billion points of liability and 1 billion opportunities for risk. So let's talk a little bit about where you think Agentic is going to derive the most value in general. You get to see a lot of different applications. What is this going to change in our world?
So if you look at businesses, what they are seeing is that agentic work can really create an enhancement to their line of business, whether it is sales or marketing or customer service or writing code or just business operations. It can make a difference. So there is a huge pressure from the board and CEO to do this transformation, and it is one of the first technology after a long time where the pull from enterprise is unparalleled.
Yeah,
so everybody is now
so
saying
true.
that how do I transform my business? And it is transforming the job of CIOs. CIO's job used to be consume the services from cloud or otherwise and create a portfolio of services to reduce risk. Now they are actually doing knowledge work for line of businesses while reducing risk. It has taken their job one order of more complexity, and now they are thinking about how do I create this agentic AI enterprise without undue risk.
What would be your one piece of advice to someone trying to navigate that right now, outside of obviously deploy Rubrik?
One piece of advice is that figure out the workflows that you want to automate, because there is no such thing as AI transformation. So figure out specific workflows and start with 3 or 4 specific workflows that is manual or time consuming, or in many cases can't be done without AI, and implement AI and prove when. Once you are able to do that, you will learn how this whole process works, what are the guardrails you have to create, how do you train the organization, because there is a lot of people and cultural change has to happen to adopt the agentic work. So ability to deliver 3 or 4 such workflows in a fully agentic model is the baseline. After that, you scale rapidly.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. And I'm glad you mentioned the cultural piece. I'm going to ask you a question you're not expecting. How have you, as a CEO, managed culture internally moving at this velocity of innovation?
One thing that we have done from the beginning is we said Rubrik has no finish line. And what it means is that we are always evolving, always thinking of what's next. There is no permanence to either win or loss.
Yeah.
As a result, the organization is continuously thinking, how do we do better tomorrow? What has happened in the past is immaterial. And that's the key in which we are continuously evolving, continuously innovating on behalf of our customers, and really giving our customers product and services to accelerate their own business strategy, because ultimately that's what they care about.
Exactly. They want solutions. I can imagine.
Exactly.
So has the feedback been positive since you've rolled this out?
Oh, the Rubrik Agent Cloud, the feedback has been incredible, because we are providing a complete platform from agent monitor to agent govern to agent rewind, because markets can't take bits and pieces of these agentic operations platform and then figure it out themselves. You need like soup to nuts end-to-end solution, because agent itself is a risky thing, and then if they have to integrate 5 infrastructure pieces to roll out agents, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen, and it's not going to happen in time for it to mean anything, even if it does. So when we think about, you mentioned North Korea as an example, when we think about bad actors and big threat risks, what does Agentic enable them with on the nefarious side? How much greater is the risk now that this technology is ubiquitous?
Volume, velocity, and variability of cyber attacks have gone beyond human comprehension. And if you just take an example of social engineering, the social engineering is 100 times better now with AI, because now AI can incorporate
It's a
data
really good point.
from different sources to really create a true social engineering that is very hard to refute. And as a result, the defenders have to really deal with very advanced AI capabilities. But we also live in a society where we have to follow laws and rules and regulations that the attackers are not thinking about. So the defenders have to be right 100% of the time, attackers have to be right one time. So it's a very asymmetric equation. So it is really on the defenders' side that we have to do AI++. We have to go even faster and more aggressive in AI adoption to be able to defend, because again, we have to be right 100% of the time.
Right. There's no margin for error in your line of work.
Exactly.
You don't get to be perfectly imperfect like the rest of us. When we look at your theme and your language right now, resilience and everything, talk to me about what that means.
Ultimately, when we started Rubrik, our vision was you can't prevent the unpreventable. Cyber attacks is gonna happen. So for us to run our businesses uninterrupted, we need to have fundamental resilience. What does resilience mean? Resilience means two things. Do you understand the risk of an attack, and are you prepared to recover? If you have those two things covered, then you have true resilience. But that is the cyber resilience. But if you think about, if your data systems and if your infrastructure is not secure, then the AI is garbage in, garbage out. So cyber resilience is also AI resilience, because unless you are secure and your data is secure and data has integrity, your AI will be useless. So we are focused on delivering resilience across your data, across your identity, and giving ability for people to confidently deploy their agents, understanding what data they are acting on, what they are allowed and not allowed to do, and understanding of what are the sanctioned or non-sanctioned agents that are running in their system.
Yeah, you got to have eyes on everything. Rubrik Zero Labs just released some data, correct? What did you all learn?
I mean, if you look at what is happening is across 1,600 plus cybersecurity leaders and IT leaders, what we found was nearly 60% of the attacks in the future is going to be AI assisted or AI led.
Wow.
That is a scary number.
That's a lot.
And they anticipate these attacks to only escalate and be more powerful.
Yeah.
So every business, every organization, whether it's government or private sector, has to reckon with this reality that we have now a very formidable adversary that's sitting and very motivated to attack us, and in many cases like monetize this attack as ransomware and other aspects of what we are seeing in the marketplace. So essentially on the defender side, while we are trying to prevent, we need to really focus on resilience, because as an open society, as a high trust country, we have to really protect ourselves, because openness is our strength, but this is the openness that is being attacked. So we have to really defend with the same agility and even more technology to be able to keep our open system open.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 there, which makes you have to be even more cautious, and it's even more complex, but I can only imagine. I'm going to ask you a personal question. What do you hope AI does for you, your family, your loved ones?
I mean, look, AI is also about productivity. And productivity means that it has deflationary impact on the goods and services that you consume. So as a result, it might usher us, or it will usher us into an era of abundance. So if you think about the goods and services prices that could go down, so you can consume more, your standard of living could go up. And that is a broader societal benefit that can come from AI.
I mean, if you're telling me that AI is going to bring us into our abundance era, I am so here for it. Sounds absolutely fabulous. All right, last question for you. With everything at the velocity that it's at currently, when we're hanging out in Las Vegas this time next year, what do you hope to be able to say then that you can't yet say today?
I feel like in the next 12 months, we'll see acceleration in technology that is equivalent to the past 10 years. Mm-hmm. And because we are truly in an age of acceleration, and every year is getting faster and faster. So next year, by this time, we'll see broad agentic deployment. The benefits of AI agentic world is starting to happen. And we'll see a lot more like humanoid robots in the marketplace. Elon Musk recently talked about starting the production at a scale very soon. So it's an exciting world in the next 12 months.
Yeah, I love it. There's going to be robots in abundance in our future. Bipul, it sounds great. I'm here for it. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us during a busy week.
Thank you, Savannah, for the opportunity.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And thank all of you for tuning in to our exclusive Rubrik coverage here in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Savannah Peterson. You're watching theCUBE, the leading source for enterprise tech news.